Why people are fatigued, लोग क्यों थके हुए हैं आजकल? Why they need so much of caffeine throughout the day?
We are exposed to more than 4,400 chemicals in a day.
लोग 1200 calories पे survive कर रहे हैं and weight preserve हो रहा है.
Different alcohols react differently in different bodies. Somebody gets sugar spikes with gin, somebody gets sugar spike with single malt, somebody gets sugar spike with beer.
B12, so many studies were at methylcobalamin. It's a methyl donor group, you know. It was again banned.
Mitochondria, by the way, 10 million can fit on a pinhead. Is that small? And there are millions and trillions of them in the body.
5 foods which are most hard to digest.
So 99% of my patients, and I'm not exaggerating, are deficient in D3.
देखो ये लड़की इंटरनेट पे बोल रही है ओट्स खाना छोड़ दो. It's about bio-individuality.
Everything is controllable by the mind. If you can switch off the pain receptor in the brain, then you can turn off the feeling that you're getting pain.
What is the most powerful thing you have to support your thyroid?
You don't treat the disease, you don't treat the condition, you treat the whole person, the whole being.
Welcome guys, welcome to Miduty Talks. Today we have Dr. Sanjay Sachdeva, and he's a PhD in nutrition science. Over 10 years now he has experience in reversing metabolic diseases like obesity, thyroid, diabetes, hypertension. So we're going to talk about everything, and plus he has written this book. He's the third time author. It's not yet published. I'm only the privileged one to get the hands on this book. Age is just a number. So we'll discuss about this. So welcome, Dr. Sanjay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show, Palak.
So last night when we spoke, you were in Thailand. And this morning, right, 9 o'clock, you were here and your travel time was 2 hours. So what's your age, can I ask?
65.
At 65, Thailand, India, and you are also setting up a lot of resorts now in Thailand, wellness resorts. So let's start with energy. How do you get so much of energy?
Mitochondrial ATP production, I guess. I also don't know how to spell the word tired. So it's a lot in the mind, as well as, of course, your nutrition, your supplements, your sleep, your thoughts are equally important, as much as each other. But accepting the word tiredness and accepting the word defeat, accepting the word impossible, these are things which don't exist in my life. Everything is possible and everything is doable, and you can get boundless energy anytime you want. In fact, I also, like you, get up at 4:30 in the morning and I'm at work after my golf at 8 o'clock. And then it goes on till 8 o'clock at night. So it's almost 16 hours of, active day.
So you play golf for?
At least 2.5 hours a day.
What time?
Start at 5:45.
5:45, okay, until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, till about 7:45, 8. Yeah.
Okay. I read somewhere that this golf courses, they are sprayed highly with pesticides. You're not bothered about that? Or
Yes,
to
so
make
this-
the grass greener, you know?
Yeah, on the green where you are actually putting at the last point, they do spray. In fact, I had taken special permission from the golf course secretary to walk barefoot and play barefoot golf. I was called the barefoot golfer in Delhi. And then this spraying of these pesticides scared me because it gets absorbed through the skin. So I was carrying a pair of shoes which I was wear when I was on the green. But when you're walking on the grass, that mostly in Delhi it's not sprayed. The grass is natural, but on the green where it's like a carpet, there it's sprayed with chemicals to keep it perfectly green
Green,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
smooth.
Yeah, you spoke earlier about mitochondria. So now the research suggests that 48% of people below 40, they have mitochondrial ATP production problems. That's why they are fatigued. So guys, what is mitochondria? Let me give you a little bit of background. These are small organelles in your cells, and each cell can have a lot of mitochondria, and they produce energy in the form of something called ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and they get lazy in producing energy. They are very sensitive to the external environment stressors. internal body, what you eat, like you said. So let's start with why people are fatigued. लोग क्यों थके हुए हैं आजकल? Why they need so much of caffeine throughout the day?
So, fatigue is a very generic term and it has many causes to it, starting from adrenal fatigue to the mind and to the diet that you're having, because it's your gut which gets tired. As is said in Ayurveda, that everything starts and ends with the gut. So, if you're not eating the right foods and you're not having the right supplementation, you will get tired because your gut has to work harder to digest food which is the wrong food, which we are mostly now not eating food anymore. We're eating food like substances. We don't really eat food. We eat things which look like food and they keep us full and they keep our gut working hard. So that is one of the causes of fatigue. The other is, of course, your mental well-being and your thoughts, which can, if you're going into a negative spiral, it makes you fatigued in terms of anxiety, fear, doubt, and thoughts of the future or past. Those can get you fatigued. Cortisol levels fluctuating plus or minus, too low or too high, can make you fatigued. Extensive physical exhaustion can make you fatigued. Uh, ATP production, of course, is the end goal, because if you don't have enough ATP, mitochondria, by the way, just to add to what Palak just said, is so small that 10 million can fit on a pinhead. Is that small, and there are millions and trillions of them in the body. So it was only discovered recently that NMN is a precursor to NAD, which fuels the mitochondria, which fuels the ATP production. So these are things which are coming from your diet and from supplements, and they will keep you going. We did not need these artificial stimulants earlier, but we are exposed to such toxic environments that our cell health has deteriorated tremendously by almost 90%, which basically means that the cell lining has hardened, and so it does not allow nutrients to come into the cell and does not allow toxic waste to get out of the cell, which is a normal and natural function of the cell. Our body cells have become hard because of the exposure to toxic environments. We are exposed to more than 4,400 chemicals in a day, and there are over 144,000 chemicals that exist in the world, but only 210 are tested for safety on human beings. And there's a lot that's happening around us that we are not even aware of. And all those chemicals and all those toxic environments, they slow our ATP production, as you just said.
Thank you so much. So, first you said foods which are hard to digest. Can you give me 5 foods which are most hard to digest?
There are two answers to this question. One is, of course, that if you have simple carbs, things like wheat and refined flour, or like white rice or polished rice, or like milk or sugar, these are simple carbs which get digested very fast. Digested means they will get absorbed very fast, but they'll spike up your sugars and will spike up your insulin levels. And then there are complex carbs, which are like black rice, like non-gluten flours, or like certain type of fibrous fruits and fibrous vegetables. These are complex. So the idea is to make your gut work hard to digest those complex carbs so that you get more production of ATP in the body. But when I say hard to digest, means that they are blocking the receptors in the gut, and the digestion takes place. As you know, that digestion mostly takes place in the mouth when we are chewing our food properly, because it releases enzymes in the mouth. So when we get the enzyme release, we are able to digest almost 30 to 40% of the food while chewing, and then it goes into the gut. So if you are not chewing properly and you're not able to take the food in a form, as they say, you should drink your food and eat your water. So you drink water slowly, and you keep chewing your food till it's almost water. So that's how the gut behaves, depending on what you are putting into the gut.
Yeah, actually, I have a very close family member. So she doesn't believe in this gluten, dairy, but she stick to one rule. I don't take gluten, dairy, lactose, no. So she stick to one rule. For example, we go to a restaurant and we say we just have 30 minutes here. She would say, I would rather not eat, you know. or we say we are very hungry, let's do it quickly. Then she go home and she take half an hour to eat. So she put her one cereal, जो कि 45 minutes का एक episode होता है, and she can digest gluten also. You know, I'm not telling people to start eating gluten. Her lifestyle is like that. She doesn't have any stresses. She takes 1 hour for her morning tea, then another hour her morning breakfast. So if your lifestyle is like that, you know, you don't have any kind of stress, then definitely you can have gluten dairy. So that's why we always say, guys, don't just take our advice, compare your lifestyle with other people, what works and what doesn't work. So foods may, you said gluten is one, then dairy is one. What do you say about peanuts?
Again, peanuts are considered as an allergen and they can increase allergy in the body. But as you said rightly, that a lot is multifactorial. People's lifestyles, if they, in our prescriptions that we write, we are, one of the instructions we give is take 20 minutes to eat your food without any distractions of any cell phones or TV or cinema or in the movie hall. Just focus on your food as if you are sitting in a gurdwara and having langar. You will focus on your food. You don't listen to your phone while having langar on the ground. So you sit cross-legged, you have take half an hour like you are saying, then you can digest everything.
Digest everything.
Question is, what are your other factors that are influencing it? It's not just the food. As you said, that this person is not stressed in life, is generally a happy person. So she has happiness hormones releasing in her body. And those endorphins and those oxytocin and those good hormones, those serotonin, which is 90% coming from the gut, they help to digest no matter what you're eating. Like if you have prasad in a langar, you will can digest wheat even.
Wheat even. I'm very curious about one question, a little off the topic. When we met before the podcast, you told me you have a continuous glucose monitor on your arm, and you showed me your app, and you said now you have reintroduced carbs. You know, earlier you were not able to metabolize carbs. So my first question is, you have also lost weight, right?
Yeah.
How much?
I'm 60 kilos now.
You are now 60 kgs?
Yeah.
Oh, really? And what were you before?
About 68.
So you've
66.
lost 8 kgs of
Yeah.
fat. Awesome. And
Yeah, my visceral fat is 5 now.
wow,
And my body fat is 17%.
you are at 17%.
What I want to hide and not tell you is my muscle mass is still also low. It's not the same as what you have been advising me on. I
Yeah.
need more time to build that.
Yeah, we'll work on that. So you said you have reintroduced carbs again.
Yes, CGM helped me to redesign my life around this and to build slowly the capacity to, as I said, that you can digest anything. I have a sports person who's a famous global sports personality. He comes to a house and he has 6 parathas and he can digest everything.
Everything.
Because he's running 10 kilometers a day and he's exercising and his metabolism is so fast. His metabolic rate is 2250, and so therefore it's very easy for him to digest anything. The question is, we are all individually different, and the CGM has helped me decide what to eat and how to build up slowly the resistance to carbs, resistance to foods, and to be able to digest foods. I have even noticed in my patients that I'm using the CGM on, different alcohols react differently in different bodies. Somebody gets sugar spikes with gin, somebody gets sugar spike with single malt, somebody gets sugar spike with beer. Mostly people get sugar spikes with beer. But similar to that, foods also have different reactions. You can get high sugar spikes with lack of sleep. You can get high sugar spikes with anger and with emotional outbursts. And you can get high sugar spikes with different types of carbs. So each is to each individual. That's why it's important to know what is suiting your body, and that's where the era of personalized medicine is coming.
Medicine is coming, yeah. For me, I haven't put a CGM to my daughter, but one of her favorite, she's just 7, so one of her favorite meal is oatmeal in the morning. So what I do is I make in coconut milk, I do oats, steel cut oats, and I put a little bar of cacao, which is so important for anti-aging, stem cells. She doesn't need it, but still I do it, cacao, and then I put 2 to 3 tablespoons of seeds, seeds जो कि भिगोए हुए हैं रात को. And I realized that she's crankier the day I'm giving her oats in the morning. Now people will take this part of the podcast and will say, देखो ये लड़की इंटरनेट पे बोल रही है oats खाना छोड़ दो. So you're so right. It's about bio individuality. What I don't, I'm a mother. I observe my daughter very closely, and I have observed that oats are messing with her up, with her blood
Hormones,
sugars.
yeah. Also hormones.
Hormones, yeah, and blood sugars. So earlier she was taking oats 3 times a week, and she loves them. Now I've told her just once a week, that too on Sunday. So you're so right. It's all about, and then if I add little bit, 1 to 2, I have oil. It's called cocoa D3. It's D3 in MCT. So I put 1 to 2 drops of that. Then it's little better. So sometimes you can add things into a food item. For example, you added seeds, you add coconut milk, you add little bit of MCT powder or MCT oil. It then help with the same food to tolerate better. But coming back to the question, how did you train your body for carbs?
I noticed that every time I would have anything that's carbohydrate, even if it's amaranth atta roti, or even if it's ragi roti or bajra roti or kuttu ka atta roti, whatever non-gluten grains were allowed in my own learning, it would still spike up sugars, and higher carb content would lead to more insulin release. So then completely went off everything. I was only having vegetables and just soups and vegetable juices or raw vegetables for some time, and then I realized that everything had stabilized.
Stabilized. Yeah.
So then you start reintroducing at a very slow pace. You start eating 20 grams of black rice, which is a complex carb. You start eating 25 grams of red rice or wild red rice. Slowly you start introducing low carb non-gluten attas, and those flours will then start getting used to your body. Your body starts releasing those specific enzymes. There are over 600 of them. So there are so many enzymes which will get released based on what you are eating and what you're reacting to. Also, I'm a great believer in energy molecules of food. According to me, the water that you drink and the food that you're having, if the energy that you are giving it at that time can change the molecular structure of food or water. So if you are eating it with a lot of bad thoughts and bad vibrations, the same water and the same food, you could be having the most organic food in the world, with all the books that you have read in your life. It will still react badly in the body, and you could be eating like Meera, when she had poison that was given, she changed the vibrations of the poison. That's how she did not die. I'm talking Meerabai. So it's vibrational change of the molecular structure of water or food.
Yeah, because I also believed my daughter, when we were in Germany, so first 6 years of her life, she had zero sick leaves. And once she came to Dubai, I understand there's a change of country and the change of probiotic, her colony is changing, she's adapting. But then I also realized one of the big thing, my cook was a lady who never had a baby girl before, and she always wanted a baby girl. She had a baby boy, and the guy, her husband, he died because of some cancer, and she always treated Sophie as her own daughter. And she was eating same kind of food, but here who's cooking for us, so she's always on her phone fighting with her husband. So recently I have told that I'm coming back to kitchen, because the moment I came to Dubai, I thought what is best about Dubai is you can afford helpers, you can afford everything is cheaper, the help is cheaper. But then I realized it's coming with a cost, because you see the changes in your baby. I was like, no, where can I find someone who treats like her own daughter? It's impossible. So I have to get back to kitchen. So then I quit my office. Now I'm working from home. So yeah, there are sacrifices involved, but you always has to see where you tweak in time. So yeah, now you said something about NAD and NMN. By the way, I'm launching liposomal form of stabilized and NMN powder, because guys, be very careful with NMN powder, because they are very highly unstable at room temperature. So we've been working over 7 months. Earlier I thought that there are NADs for IV. I went to Dubai and I ordered one IV guy. He came to my house for me and my husband, and we both had it, and we within 5 minutes of having NAD in our blood, we started feeling pukish. You know
Yes.
that this happens?
It's being banned in Thailand now. It's not allowed in India, and it is. It was being done in my associate clinic in Thailand, but now the Thai government is banning it. Indian government is not allowing it. I mean, people have imported it. I mean, they've smuggled it into India, but it's not allowed. NMN, which is a precursor to NAD, will convert into NAD naturally in the body. You need NAD actually in the body, but you should not inject or consume NAD directly.
I had a terrible experience.
Yeah, it's quite. A lot of people have reported that. That's why the NMN powder which you are making is probably one of the best things to do, because nobody is making it in India. I mean, there's one or two people making capsules in India, but it does not stay stabilized in a capsule form.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It took me 8 months to launch ALA, alpha lipoic acid. You know, it's in our nerve pain, guys. So, because ALA in your body, it gets broken to R and S form, and ALA is the form you want. But now, when you extract RALA, then it becomes highly unstable. So again, we took like 9 to 10 months for the stability. Same is happening with NMN. So people always ask us, NMN का supplement है नहीं, वो चल रहा है process में. So yeah, that's the beauty. We work with labs, and once it comes, I give NMN to my parents. I import it from America, but every time I see such an opportunity, then I try to make it. One of the molecule I'm trying to make also in India, and I don't know why, maybe you can answer me. Indian government keeps banning it. For your mitochondrial health, a combination of CoQ10 and PQQ is very good, you know. So now we have CoQ10 in our supplement called Happy Heart, but this PQQ, why would Indian government ban it? It's been months that I've been putting applications on applications. Why do Indian government would ban something like this? They also banned monk fruit. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Why?
But they've allowed erythritol-based monk fruit,
Yeah.
which is a chemical-based.
Which a chemical-based monk fruit. Yeah. So guys, every time
They're not allowed the original. Form
original
of,
monk fruit they did not allow. So why does Indian government many molecules actually B12? So many studies were at methylcobalamin. It's a methyl donor group. You know, it brings your histamines down, and it was again banned, and it was allowed in certain parts. Then we had to fight. Why Indian government does that?
Yeah, because for example, I use a lot of your B12 with folate. I mean, for my patients, and I'm also using a lot of your D, because the Indian government also has a strange law. The FSI permits 600 IU of vitamin D3. I myself take 5,000 to 10,000 a day
Me
sometimes.
too. Me too.
Because I keep my levels of D3 at 95 to 100. And in fact, yesterday I did a test in Thailand, it was 110. 600 IU, which is the government norm of FSSAI, you cannot get enough. So your D3 levels will always be at 30, or 99% people, or 99% of my patients, and I'm not exaggerating, are deficient in D3. And they are people who have 40-50 ng per ml, they are suboptimal. They are not deficient, but they are.
Yeah, I still remember, Sanjay, when my vitamin D test came, I was in Dubai and it was 63. And I knew that a doctor would say, you are going towards toxicity. And then I sent you my reports. I said, Sanjay, what do you say? And he was like, Palak, take your levels up 90 se upar. So guys, this is a disclaimer. Please, if you work on vitamin D levels, taking high dose, because it's fat soluble, it has that cumulative effect. You know, keep testing it yourself. I do it with my parents. You know, I keep testing them, take their levels between 90 to 100. You said yours is 110, but the government says at 100, or normal doctor says it's very toxic at above 100. But work with your doctor, do your tests again. I am not telling people to go up till 110, but what we all follow is this non-profit organization. It's called vitamind.org, and they say that per 12 kg हर 12 किलो पे आपको 1000 चाहिए, you know. So a person with 60 kgs like you needs 5,000 IU every single day. Yeah. So then my next question is, I have this supplement called vitamin ADK. You know, it's with K2, and K1 and vitamin A. So do you think if people take this every day, there can be chances of toxicity?
No, there is no chance of toxicity ever, ever. Most of my patients have levels of 6, 10, 15, 20, that level. And they say we're just suboptimal. When it touches 90, you will feel a lot different. You will get a lot of energy and you will feel a lot more different, and you will not get disease that often. I could be sitting in the aircraft with two people on my left and right, both coughing and sneezing the whole way. I won't get infection. If your vitamin C levels and if you have liposomal vitamin C or IVs like I do, and your D3 levels are fine, you pretty much are in the safe zone.
Yeah, vitamin C liposomal is also very magical because Pranav, co-founder, my brother, he's just 26. Every time he would go out and would drink something cold, उसके tonsils हो जाते थे. So he's just started doing one thing. He started taking vitamin C a day before, and I give him a high dose. And अब वो बीमार नहीं पड़ता है. मतलब कई लोगों को ठंडा लगता है ना गले में, सो वो बंद हो गया है बिल्कुल. सो यू आर राइट, विटामिन डी का दिस guys toxicity नहीं है, but we strongly suggest you still do your test. There are home kits for vitamin D testing. Keep your level around 100. And you are so right about aircrafts, because I'm very conscious at when I'm in the airplane, because 80% of the air is recirculated. So guys, the only person in your aircraft who's getting best level of oxygens are actually your pilot. उनके केबिन के अंदर इज़ अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी, एंड पीछे के लोगों में देयर इज़ अ डिफरेंट स्टोरी. बट डू यू वेयर इन योर फ्लाइट समथिंग सर्जिकल मास्क?
No, I never wore masks even during the COVID
I also
times,
never wore masks.
because it pushes back the carbon dioxide that you are breathing out back into you. So I never believed in the masks. I paid thousands of rupees as penalty while driving, because I said I will not wear it. So I used to wear for a minute and then take it off again.
Say, I don't wear masks. I
don't believe in
masks. Same here. Did you take vaccination?
No, I did not.
I also did not.
There
I
are
can't say it today, but at
Hundreds
that
of my patients who did not take vaccine.
I'll tell you something. You told your patients not to get vaccinated.
Yes,
I was
so
not
many.
so bold. Sorry, I was not, because मेरे नाम के आगे.
No, I was openly talking about it even at that time when everybody was saying, how can you do it? That
But your संजय आपके नाम के आगे डॉक्टर लिखा हुआ है, मेरे पे डॉक्टर नहीं है. Although Aztec University.
मुझे तो पढ़ना पड़ा 50 साल की उम्र में, because कोई विश्वास नहीं करता था. If I would say I've done 20 degrees in nutrition, they'll say इसको क्या पता. So then I had to forcefully do this, and I mean, imagine going back to school at 50.
उस टाइम पे I couldn't make videos because I'm also a little bit scared that, might be like what they did with Dr. Mercola in America. When he started writing about vaccination, I was following him rigorously. They deleted his website. रातों रात. And I told my parents, मत लो, नहीं सुना उन्होंने मेरा, लिया vaccination. The only problem was traveling. But on the other side, let me show you other side of the story. In Germany, I had billionaire friends. So there was this husband and wife. They are Germany's top advocates and lawyers. So what they did was, German government told them, they are my very good friends, German government told them कि अगर आप वैक्सीनेशन नहीं लोगे, बिजनेस बंद करो. उन्होंने अपना बिजनेस बंद कर दिया. उन्होंने कहा हमने बहुत कमा लिया, बट हम वैक्सीनेशन नहीं लेंगे. Other friend of mine, they are kid psychologists. उन्होंने क्या किया, डॉक्टर जब when they were forcing kids to do the testing again and again, they left their business and their house and moved to another country, to an island.
God.
Yes, developed economies में ये चल रहा है. And मेरे को इतना पैरालाइज कई बार फील होता है कि यार मैं वीडियोस नहीं बना सकती, बट मैं क्या करती हूँ, मैं लाइव आती हूँ, मैं लोगों को बीच में छोटा छोटा हिंट देती रहती हूँ कि क्या चल रहा है. So I told my parents not to take it. They still took it. And मेरी मम्मा को, like पापा को जब कोरोना हुआ, तो मम्मा कहती हैं कि पापा को आइसोलेट कर देते हैं. आई नहीं मम्मा, जाओ पापा के पास. मम्मी कहती क्यों? बिकॉज योर विटामिन डी लेवल्स आर 90 अबव, आपको ज़्यादा सिम्टम्स नहीं आएंगे. गो, पापा की सेवा करो, पापा को. एंड एग्जैक्टली जैसे मैंने मम्मा को प्रिडिक्ट किया था कि मम्मा आप पापा का ध्यान रखो, आपको कोरोना अटैक करेगा बट आपको सिम्टम्स नहीं आएंगे, बिकॉज आई नो आई हैव वर्कड ऑन योर इम्यूनिटी, एंड एग्जैक्टली लाइक दैट हैपेंड. एंड in your book, Age is Just a Number, you wrote something about your lungs. Because there's this guy called Brian Johnson. He's all about कि मरना कैसे नहीं है. He's trying to extend his life to 150, doing stem cells, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. So Brian Johnson said after corona, his lungs age was plus 20 years. जिन जिन लोगों को कोरोना हुआ है या उसका वैक्सीनेशन लिया है उनकी एज lungs की एज 20 साल आगे चली गई. So I haven't read your book because guys this book is not yet published, but Sanjay's dear friend, he's gifted me one copy. So first of all, when is your book coming?
In about 10 days time.
In 10 days time. Would it be available also in as an ebook in Kindle?
Yeah, it'll be available.
Audible too?
Yeah, Audible, Kindle, and Amazon.
Amazon it will be there. Okay, and guys, this is 5 years of work, guys. So please read it if you want to stop aging. Lung health के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, क्योंकि कुछ लोगों को अब सांस चढ़ रहा है.
It goes back to nutrition, starts from there, and then it goes on to breathing. Most of us are not breathing correctly. We don't have the right method to breathe. We don't do the right exercises of breathing, and that's why the lung health is suffering. Yesterday or day before yesterday at the press conference in Thailand, I called 4 25-year-old girls and 2 boys from the audience, and I asked them to on the stage to hold their breath. Average was 45 seconds, and I did 2 minutes 7 seconds.
You can do 2 minutes?
2 minutes 7 seconds, just hold the breath and stay. In 2 minutes 20 seconds, oxygen will stop going to your brain. So you can imagine to what extent I could. So
How did
I was
you
trying
train?
to prove through pranayam. So you work on your breath, and that's what changes your lung health. That's the best parameter for measuring lung health, is how long you can hold your breath, and keep it like that. Again, a lot goes back to thinking. If you are thinking, oh God, I'm running out of time, कितनी देर hold कर सकता हूँ? If you look at the stopwatch all the time, you'll be able to do it less. Stop looking at the watch, start thinking of other things, and you will just divert your attention from the fact that you're holding your breath.
Holding breath करने से lung health better होती है?
No, it's a test. It's a measure.
Test.
It's a measure. Lung health better होती है by doing either the right nutrition.
What is right nutrition for lungs?
So a lot of things which are important to increase the energy of the lungs, and of course eating foods that you can digest very fast. If you eat food and you can digest it in 4 hours, and you can excrete in 4 hours time or 5 hours time, is one of the ways that you're not burdening your whole system, the whole diaphragm. Second is posture. If you're sitting like this versus sitting like this, so your lungs are not stretched fully, and your diaphragm is not is compressed. When your diaphragm is compressed, you will not be able to have the full level of oxygen inside the body. Third is soleus activation. If you're not doing soleus activation, which comes from increasing the SpO2 levels, it's the only thing which can increase your SpO2 to 100.
कैसे करते हैं वो?
So soleus activation is just sitting on your standing on your legs and going up like that, up and down.
जो हम carbs की exercise करते हैं.
Carbs की exercise जो
So
करते हैं.
guys, हमारे Monday, Tuesdays and Thursdays I do exercise. This exercise, yes, I get it. Yeah.
So if you start chanting Om with it, you will see the increase much more faster.
मतलब carbs की exercise करते करते Om बोलना है.
You chant Om with it. So it's actually a friend of mine, Dr. Rastogi, has a patent on it, on this combination, that you do the soleus activation with the Om chanting, and you are able to increase your SpO2 to 100. And otherwise आप देखिए वो जो SpO2 मीटर होता है उस पर 97, 98 जाता है, 99 जाता है, तो हम लोग बहुत खुश हो जाते हैं. किसी का 100 नहीं होता. So try doing this. It will improve your lung health. It will improve the more oxygen that you have in your lungs, the more. Then there are other methods of doing it. Hyperbaric oxygen, ozone therapy. You breathe ozone through oil. It's called Boto.
Oh, that smells bad. I did that. I can't do it, Sanjay. I don't know. I did that with Sameer, and Dr. Sameer must be laughing. Oh God, that stinky thing.
So if you do it through oil, it does not smell. The ozone has to pass through oil, and you put 99% oxygen and 1% ozone, and that will change the way the smell comes.
Oh.
And you will not get the smelly.
Dr. Sameer, are you listening to this podcast? Change it because your oil smells.
So then, there are very many pathways to changing lung health. But yes, after COVID, a lot of people reported this, that their lung age had declined.
Okay guys, so अगर आपको lungs का age बढ़ाना है, do pranayam. Number 2, do this calf exercise, जिसमें आप अपनी heel उठाते हो ऊपर down, and it's also very good for your calf and pushing the blood back to the heart, very good for your heart health. And number 3, ozone could be one you
Yeah,
can smell.
CoQ10 is very important
CoQ10 is
to
important.
add because it helps your cardiac health, and if your heart is pumping blood at the right levels, you can improve your lung health as well as your heart cardiac health.
So there is this Dr. Branson. He's from Howard medical background. He's also founder of this institute called Mind Body Healing. So he was treating chronic pain patients जिनको body में दर्द ही रहता है. And what he realized, पहले उन्होंने 90 patients लिए, उनको पेन किलर्स पे डाला, so the pain, it went away completely. Then he started reducing the dosage and increasing the breathing and meditation exercise. And he saw कि धीरे धीरे patients do not even need that medicine. उनकी anxiety कम हुई, pain कम हुई, fear कम हुआ. So is breathing and meditation so powerful that it can take your chronic pain away?
Everything is controllable by the mind, and meditation helps the mind. So everything, if you are able to supercharge your mind through meditation, you can command every cell of your body to act in a certain way, especially pain receptors in the brain. If you can switch off the pain receptor in the brain, which is what CBD also does, then you can turn off the feeling that you're getting pain. When you're getting surgery done and you get anesthesia, that it turns off the pain receptors.
You can turn off the pain receptors
Through your meditation, through mind.
कैसे?
There are specific exercises to do. There are specific mindfulness practices that you do.
कहाँ पे
Which
मिलेंगी?
you do. There's a processes to it. It's a long discussion.
Of course,
It's
मैं नहीं
another
कह रही
subject.
एक दिन में ही सब हो जाएगा.
जी,
I
जी,
know
जी.
weight loss भी करना है, 5-6 years लग जाएंगे आपको अपना body recomposition करने में. But where do I look at? कहाँ से start करूँ अगर मुझे अपने pain receptors?
Start from your breath. You start from your breath, then you start from concentration, then you go on to Tratak, then you go on to focused meditation, then you go on to commentary, then you go on to disconnecting yourself from others, then you go into white light therapy, so it's a process of about 15 stages.
कौन करवाता है ये? Who's doing it?
There are so many organizations on mindfulness that are doing it these days. There's a Buddhist monk in Thailand called Dr. Anthony Jude Tan, Tan. They have got specific podcasts, specific methods of doing it. They teach you open eye meditation formats, which means you're not closing your eyes, because when you close your eyes, your thoughts start increasing. So you open your eyes and you focus on a certain point, and you activate your third eye and your pineal gland. So when you do that, then you're able to control your thoughts, and the number of thoughts per minute can reduce from 32 to 35 thoughts, which is our normal thought process, to about 20 thoughts per minute. If you can get it down to 20 thoughts per minute, you're already in a meditative
This is
state.
also measurable.
Yes, through EEG methods. We do it in the clinic all the time. So when they are stressed, people get 40-45 thoughts per minute. Normal people who are active, people who are type A personalities like you, will get about 35. People who are slightly calmer like me will get 32
Who
thoughts.
said I'm not calmer?
Overactive. Your brain is overactive. So you are a calm person, but your brain is overactive. It's working all the time. You're on a mental treadmill all the time. So we need to do a thing called traffic control. So you control the traffic of your thoughts every hour for 2 minutes.
कैसे?
You go into silence. You put an app called Traffic Control, which is available on the app. You are in the conversation. You are sitting with 8 people. You are in a party. You could be in a conference. You could be working. You could be in a family. This thing, but for that 1 or 1.5 minutes, you cut off. You just get silent. You don't make a show of it. You do not make a big tamasha about it. Just go into silence and listen to somebody else talking. And while you go into your internal self, control the traffic and the movement of your thoughts for that 1 minute. Take a break, then start. So what happens with that is that you're not constant. If you're on a physical treadmill for 3 hours, what will happen?
Burnout.
You'll get a heart attack. 3 hours at 7 kilometers per hour, you will get a heart attack. So, but on a mental treadmill, we are always running constantly. So we need to slow that down. And the moment you slow that down, you see the absorption of everything from food to nutraceuticals to everything that you're taking in, water, air, food, nutraceuticals, IVs, everything absorption gets better. because your mind is more calm and more at ease. So it's not releasing cortisol at that point of time, and you're able to absorb nutrients much more effectively, and your cells are working better.
So what I do often is that when I think I'm on this treadmill and urge anxiety because I'm wearing this Whoop band, it tells me about my HRV and my stress monitor. I didn't know about that traffic control, so I do box breathing, up and constant and down. So it works too, but if we have something like this traffic control, an app reminding you, yeah, that would be also helpful. We have to, limit the thoughts from 40-45 if you're anxious personality, or somebody like me 30-35, your target is to get to 20, and where to start from is pranayam. You can do focus on your breath throughout the day, jab आपका ध्यान लगे. And then there is a reminder also, there's an app, it's called traffic control. It will also remind you to go inwards. And that's why sometimes I say I'm talking to Sanjay, he's zone out. Now I know. And then there's a podcast from a Buddhist in Thailand, Dr. Anthony Tong. We have to see him if you take me there. You spoke about CBD taking for pain. So CBD is now legal in India?
Yes, there are companies making CBD capsules, pain relieving capsules, CBD oils. There are different kinds of CBD applications now available. More than 40 or 50 supplements are available now in totality in that area. It is going to be a big step forward in the nutraceutical world. It's like the discovery of antibiotics, because it's going to be another chapter written in that area. I'm not the expert in it, but I have license to prescribe it because of my Ayurvedic teaching, I'm learning. Strangely, allopathic doctors cannot prescribe CBD. Ayurvedic doctors can prescribe CBD.
Profit margins kam honge.
Guess there's some law that restricts it. Just like compounding pharmacies, for strangely, are not allowed in India. So there is only one compounding pharmacy in Bangalore.
Oh God, that's such a hassle
There are
to import
75 compounding pharmacies in Malaysia, small country. India mein ek hai. So there's no compounding available in India. There are a lot of strange things, like you just mentioned about monk fruit sugar. So because I'm treating diabetes, I know that almost 55% of Indians have pre-diabetes or diabetes and will become diabetic at some point of time. That means 75 crore people in India are in that zone where they cannot metabolize sugar. Their insulin release is abnormal, and they will get diabetes at some point of time. So, and when you test HbA1cs and you test homocysteine and you test other markers, you will find that most people are in that zone. Strangely, so in a country like this, there should be more natural sugar alternatives available, but the government is not allowing. In 1777, there was one sugar mill in India, and there was no diabetes. There were only few cases of diabetes. In fact, sugar was available at a pharmacy store in 1777.
1777.
Then the Britishers brought the sugar mills to India. Now there are 4,900 sugar mills in India. So they want to sell sugar. The sugar lobby is very strong, and they want to sell more sugar. So if there's healthy sugar alternatives available, then sugar will not sell, because there's so much against sugar. Now there's a sugar tax in the UK, and there's things happening around the world where they are talking about against sugar as being a toxic drug. So it is strange that in a country like India, they're not allowing certain things which are, there are healthy sugar alternatives available, but they are so expensive. It'll be like 500 rupees a kilo. So nobody will buy it, or very few people can buy it. So I think there's a big market for supplements on diabetes and on pre-diabetes. Actually, there's nothing called pre-diabetes.
Insulin resistant.
If you are insulin resistant, you will get diabetes at some point of time, or obesity. And even if you are thin outside, fat inside, we call them TOFI, TOFI. And these are people who look thin, but they have endothelial dysfunction, and they will get diabetes at some point of time or the other. So these people need the supplements. They need the right diets. They need the right nutritional support to prevent or to reverse insulin resistance, which is reversible in about a year and a half's time. Diabetes is reversible in 3 months' time, but insulin resistance takes about a year and a half to reverse or to address. But you're never out of it, because you can't say that I've reversed my diabetes or I've reversed my insulin resistance and therefore I can start having jalebis and gulab jamuns from tomorrow. It's not possible. You have to stay off sugar. There's no doubt about it. There's no two ways about it.
Yes, one has to be completely wean off sugar. You're right. Meditation and this whole journey can be harming, because I spoke about solitude, how I'm spiritually elevated and nothing is making sense. So I was telling Sanjay before the podcast started, I have a nice watch, I have a nice jewelry, here. I forget everything, because when the morning I got up at 4:30, my focus was about giving and internal peace. And suddenly what happened is everything stopped making sense. The clothes, the jewelry, the good car. So it's a painful journey because it's a lot of solitude. External world is not making sense. And for me, that's the biggest side effect that's happening with my spiritual elevation. And how do you think, we can manage these both? Because at the end, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter. My father has some expectations when I represent myself socially. So recently my father did a party and I was again an embarrassment because my clothes were not ready. Somehow things are not making sense. So how one can manage this?
Either we choose to be a hermit and we go and live up in the Himalayas, then we can afford that isolation and that disconnection from the world, and then nothing matters to us. 99% of us are not in that zone. Rather, 99.9% people are not in that zone where we can completely leave everything material in this world and go and lead an ascetic life of an ascetic, and we lead a life of complete isolation and disconnection. Then it's fine to do this kind of. The idea is to be in this world, to live in this world of attraction, materialism, attachment, without getting attached. And so you enjoy everything, you look at everything, but you are externalizing it. You're not internalizing it. If you have that watch or you don't have that watch, should not matter to you. If you have that car, you don't have the car, it doesn't matter to you.
But it's there for the luxury.
It's there for the luxury. I had a limousine offered to me by my hosts in Thailand, but I went by motorcycle because the bikes are much more convenient way to go around. So you rent a Uber motorcycle and they'll drop you off in 15 minutes anywhere you want to go. The question is, if it's there, it's there. If it's not there, it's not there. It does not matter to you. At the same time, you participate in societal materialism without getting attached to the product, the outcome.
Yeah.
You give your best. Like you were saying, you lead life like this. You should lead life like this, not like this. So if you're attached to everything and you're holding on to your knowledge, to your products, to your wealth, and wealth includes power of knowledge, also considered as wealth now. So, and you're holding on to yourself, then it will internalize and that will make you sick ultimately. You lead life like this, so you are giving and not taking. You take from the divine, you give to the world.
You're very right. And the beauty is everything become effortless. Your health become effortless. The abundance of wealth, relationships, good friends, it's just become abundance. Like everything is there in abundance once you connect to your source, and you don't have to work. I used to work 18 hours a day, Sanjay, and now I'm working maybe 4 or 5 hours a day and enjoying the process of being and giving more. I was in Gurgaon office, so there's this guy, he does our search engine optimization. So he came to my cabin, and at that particular moment, my idea was to figure out, is there anything he's lagging in his life where I can contribute? It's really out of that realm of your being boss, and there's like, ma'am, kaisi baatein karti hain? And I have realized earlier I used to give 18 hours of like go work, checklist, this done, this one. I was more out of homeostasis, and the company was growing like this, and now I'm working less and giving more, and the company, my duty is growing like this, and also my growth, the way my skin shine, the way my hair shine, everything is going like this. It's the art of giving. You are so right. And the external things, luxury is important, but not getting attached to it.
State of balance would be called sthit pragya, or the state of homeostasis. In our clinic, we do a test on everybody that comes, and that's without fail. Everybody who walks in, we do about 10 patients a day at the moment, because it takes 1 hour per person to take the first appointment. We do a test of homeostasis through a Russian scientist who developed this Russian FDA approved test, and that measures the number of thoughts per minute in your brain. It also measures the organ energy of every organ of the body, from spleen
I
to
know.
kidney.
I did this podcast with Sakia. You put it all over your head.
No, you scan your fingers
Finger.
through a spectrophotometry based test, and you are able to read the energy from the fingertips, and then this will analyze the energetic status of every organ of the body, and you can make out whether your particular organ of the body is over consuming energy or under consuming it. So if you're not in a state of homeostasis, then obviously the resonance of the vibration frequencies gets disturbed. When vibrational frequencies are disturbed, because we are all beings of vibrations and energy, like we discussed in the beginning of the podcast, that we are dependent on ATP, which is energy, and we're not chemical beings. We're not made of chemicals. Our body is full of vibrational cells. We generate cells, energy from cells, which is generated by thoughts. And therefore, if you're not in a state of homeostasis in your thoughts, in your mind, then you are in a state of disturbed peace of mind. And that goes true for everything in terms of your material things that you are enjoying, not enjoying. So you stay in the middle. You're neither this way nor this way. You enjoy and yet you are detached. So you acquire, yet you are not, it does not matter to you whether it's there or not.
In your book, it starts with pressing the pause button, and then when you talk about organs, liver is the first chapter. Why do you think aging has to be related with liver? Why do you put, when you list all the organs, why liver is on the top?
The liver is like a sieve or like a channi in the life, in your body. Everything goes through that. It's like the tea sieve. So when you're making tea and you do not clean the sieve, at one point of time the tea leaves will block that channi, and it will stop passing through it. So if you don't cleanse, and the liver is the only organ that can regenerate itself.
Yes.
So if you don't maintain the health of that, every organ is important, but liver is an organ that you will be, if you are feeling sluggish, again coming back to your question on fatigue, if your liver is sluggish, or if it's fatty liver, which again is plaguing almost 1 in 2 people in Delhi, in India, I would say. 1 in 2 people have fatty liver, grade 1. 1 in 3 people will have grade 2 liver, fatty liver disease. And now we've stopped distinguishing between NAFLD, which is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and fatty liver disease with alcohol, because it's the same. If you have fatty liver, you need to get rid of the fat. You need to get your silymarin and your milk thistle and other things like dandelion root tea and your castor oil packs, and you have to get rid of the fat from exercise, from diet, from breathing, from all of that combination of everything that works.
So guys, what doctor has said about liver. So first he told about some herbs like dandelion roots, and you have milk thistle, which you can find in any supplement, or you can take liver detox. And then he said castor oil packs, so you can put on Amazon. It's called castor oil packs. So you put castor oil and put it on the right side जहाँ पे liver होता है, and when you're tired and आप रात को सो सकते हो, and it also works wonderfully the day you are bloated, you can, or you have periods pain, you can put the castor oil pack there. And when I bought the kit for castor oil packs, so it was provided for each organ, including women chest too. So you can do that, and and then your liver start regenerating within 2 to 3 years. I have reversed my mother's liver, fatty liver, problem, in 3 years it will be regenerated. And then stop putting the toxins, from whatever source you have, like pesticides. अच्छे से धो के खाओ vegetables को. So that's very useful. Then the last organ, which is very, very important, thyroid, because that was also your chapter 2. So thyroid, it does slow down with aging, and T4 to T3 conversion slow down. So liver sluggish है, T4 से T3 का conversion नहीं हो रहा है, metabolism नीचे जा रहा है, लोग 1200 कैलोरीज पे सर्वाइव कर रहे हैं एंड वेट प्रिजर्व हो रहा है. ये जो पूरा लूप है थायराइड को सपोर्ट करने के लिए, what is the most powerful thing you have to support your thyroid?
So it starts from measurement. 99% labs, hospitals, and the modern medical system is relying in India on blood tests for thyroid. It's not the most accurate way of measuring thyroid. It only tells you 18% of the truth. So if you look at just T3, T4, TSH or FT3, FT4, TSH, you're looking at thyroid like this with one eye or half an eye open. Thyroid is always, in the traditional days before even pathology tests were invented or discovered, it used to be measured by reflex, neurotransmitter speed, and resting metabolic rate and symptoms. So we do a test called the Thyroflex, which measures the resting metabolic rate, which measures your neurotransmitter speed, and it measures the symptoms. So you take the symptom score, you put it into a program, and it tells you whether you are hypothyroid or not. Then we also do a reverse T3 test, which is not done in India. But Indian labs are now sending the sample out and getting it done.
I couldn't get it for my parents. I had to get it done from America.
Yeah, now labs in India are collecting samples and sending it. Coming back to thyroid, yes, you're right, T4 to T3 conversion is not happening. And as I was saying, that most people, or 90% people or 95% people, are testing just the blood and they write thyronorm or thyroxine, which is actually a synthetic levothyroxine, and that almost gives a signal to the thyroid gland, main hoon na, don't worry, I'm there. So it stops the conversion, and it will silence the thyroid gland. It will make you dependent on it for life. Most of my patients, I take them off synthetic medicines, and we start on bioidentical thyroid with your triple thyroid support. The triple thyroid support has some very, very important minerals and amino acids, which are the selenium and the tyrosine, L-tyrosine, which I use a lot because it's pretty much, and then within 1 to 6 months or so, we take them off biothyroid also. So first we stop the synthetic thyroid medicine, then we put them on biothyroid and triple thyroid, and then last 6 months or 8 months only on triple thyroid.
I did 3 years or 2 years of research triple thyroid care का formula बनाने के लिए. I read through research papers, Sanjay, and today when I go to the thyroid doctors and tell them take this product, they are used to of 40-50% margins, which I cannot give because you have seen my formula. I don't use thiamine B1, I use benfotiamine. कहाँ मिलता है इंडिया में, बाहर से लाना पड़ता है. And I don't have that kind of margins. And guys, trust me, I would say our biggest, highest selling product is liver detox. But liver detox was not a rocket science. I did, triple thyroid care. And jitne bhi functional doctors hain, unka favorite hai. I think you prescribe hundreds of triple.
Yeah, at least I have 100 patients a month that I'm sending triple thyroid. I myself have it.
मैं खुद खाती हूँ triple thyroid.
It's just a must-have in your cabinet because it regulates your thyroid function. I also give some Lugol's iodine, but instead of consuming it orally, I will put it here on the wrist and I rub it like that. So it kind of absorbs and helps the triple thyroid to work better.
So guys, this iodine, what he's talking about, Lugol's iodine, this is a drop. अगर आपकी body के अंदर काफ़ी iodine है तो एक yellow patch छूट जाएगा, and अगर नहीं है वो absorb हो जाएगा. So for me, I did for some time, but then my triple thyroid care has 2 forms of iodine, potassium iodide. So I did this yellow patch test and I was not deficient, so I weaned off. But I did it to my daughter too. So guys, there's one product of Miduty. It's favorite of all functional doctors. It's triple thyroid care and मेरी बहुत जान लगी है. So Dr. Sanjay takes it, I takes it, then his 100 of patients are taking it, and most probably he'll help me launch this product. Okay, he's been telling me to come to Thailand, and I just took, मुझे अपना Dubai life set करना था, so I will definitely, I'm coming with you to Thailand next time because your game is big there, you know. That's so strange that इंडिया के लोग उतना नहीं जल्दी पकड़ रहे हैं, you know, this functional medicine game जितनी जल्दी थाईलैंड के
All Far Eastern countries, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, Japan, they are more open, China, they are more open to the Eastern-Western blend of medicine because their traditional philosophy of traditional Thai medicine, traditional Chinese medicine or TCM, these are all ingrained in the people's DNA from centuries and centuries. Like in Indians, Ayurveda, homeopathy, naturopathy, they are ingrained for thousands of years. Just like that, I've noticed that in south of India, we have about 200 functional medicine doctors.
Really?
In Delhi, there are 4 or 5. So the acceptability is much less in Delhi. If I tell somebody to take an IV in Delhi, they wonder 10 times. But in South India, there are so many doctors in Bangalore, Chennai, Madurai, all over the south. There are so many doctors who are accepting because the people accept Ayurveda and the traditional medicine much earlier. And functional medicine is nothing but an extract of all natural forms of medicine that exist in the world, from TCM to Tibetan medicine to Chinese medicine to Indian old form of medicine to naturopathy. To it has extracted all of that, vetted it from all the big American universities and the European universities, and has got proof that it works. So they have blended it all and they've created this new form of medicine called functional medicine. But in reality, it's actually rooted deeply into the ancient sciences.
Yes, I totally believe that, and I really wish seeing more compounding pharmacy opening in India, because for me it's very hard if, you know, we are treating some family members and we prescribe them, importing it's such a hassle. And so thank you so much telling us that now you can do this reverse T3. Back then, 10 years back, when I was reversing my mom's thyroid or Hashimoto's disease, I had to give everything. I think I spent lakhs and lakhs. So one of my, let's say, life journey would be कि ये सब mainstream में कैसे available कराना है. पहले मैंने सोचा मैं अमेरिका भाग जाती हूँ, but then I said कि यार, you know, जब मुझे चैनल शुरू करना था, I had to take this call. Do I really want to run to America and do everything for myself and be part of American functional medicine? But then I took this harder route, you know, क्योंकि अमेरिका अगर मैं चली भी गई, मेरे पेरेंट्स नहीं आएंगे, वहाँ पर दिल नहीं लगेगा. So let's go to India and do and invent, and I hope this all things come forward. And guys, I really, really request you, one reason I started this podcast was I was on a podcast and मैंने देखा इंडिया में कौन से podcasts चल रहे हैं. बेसिकली कोई भी इंसान जिनके नाम के आगे बड़ा सा बहुत सारी मेडिकल क्वालिफिकेशंस हैं, वो लोग चैनल पे आ रहे हैं, वो लोग इंस्टाग्राम सोशल मीडिया पे आ रहे हैं, बिकॉज द फंक्शनल डॉक्टर्स आर सो बिजी. इनका लाइफ ऐसा होता है, ये लोग 5 मिनट के अंदर प्रिस्क्राइब नहीं करते हैं, एक इंसान को लेते हैं. And I remember my first consultation with my parents, with you, it took hours and hours. आपने पापा को कुछ vibrations and energies दी थी सुनने के लिए. So functional doctor जो अकेले हैं, so I hope there are more functional doctors coming and we can somehow speed up the process and shift people towards this. But the real doctors, you know, जो कि एक patient को as a case, सिर्फ एक पर्ची की तरह नहीं देखते हैं, केस स्टडी की तरह देख रहे हैं, उन लोगों को दे आर सो बिजी, दे आर सो गुड फंक्शनल डॉक्टर्स. आई वाज ट्राइंग टू टेल देम टू कम हियर. टाइम ही नहीं है पालक, टाइम ही नहीं है, क्योंकि एक एक पेशेंट के अंदर वो लोग इतनी जान लगा रहे हैं.
बिकॉज दे ट्रीट द पेशेंट, नॉट द डिजीज. You don't treat the disease, you don't treat the condition, you treat the whole person, the whole being. So you look at that person's history from the beginning of his life and what he has developed today. What you are today is the result of what you have been in the last 30, 40, 50 years.
Awesome. So if people have to contact you, how can they find you?
I'm not very good with social media.
We have to meet more often and I can make your more reels, and so that People can see Thailand जाके इतने retreats open कर रहे हो. We want you in India for Indians.
No, I'm here available. I'm 25 days in a month. I'm here only.
But your work is accelerated a lot faster in Thailand.
It's because of acceptability. I have partnerships there. I'm also now doing work with a longevity company in Switzerland that I represent in India.
Yes,
I'm on the
you
advisory
send me
board,
the details.
and they are now researching on testing for NAD, how much NAD your body is making, and they have the patents for it globally. They are a very heavily invested company, Swiss company making specialized supplements. Well, the supplement is a very small part of the business. Mostly it's testing, epigenetic tests. So that's the major and counseling. So you're changing your lifestyle to focus more on longevity interventions or epigenetic interventions to change genetic expression or longevity genes expression.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much, Sanjay. And guys, please write in the comment section, out of everything I'm touching base on, what is that you want to dig deeper with Sanjay. And I'm going to bring Dr. Sanjay again. He's a very, very dear friend of mine. I mean, आपने इनसे एक बार consultation ले लिया. And I remember when I started this journey, I used to go to, there are 200 or 300 functional doctors which I know. And I tell my parents also to talk to them. I still remember पापा ने जब डॉक्टर संजय से फर्स्ट टाइम कंसल्टेशन की, डॉक्टर कहते ए डॉक्टर वधिया लगा ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ कराई फ्यूचर लाइक पापा ठीक है. बिकॉज मेरे घर पे भी अगेन मैं कर क्या रही हूँ, मम्मी पापा को मैं बोलती हूँ आप डॉक्टर की बात मत सुनो, मेरी बात सुनो. बोलेंगे तू डॉक्टर है. तो मेरे को क्या करना पड़ता है, इवन अपने मम्मी पापा को भी कन्विंस करने के लिए, आई हैव टू टेक सपोर्ट ऑफ डॉक्टर्स. माई फादर वॉज नॉट रेडी टू टेक ट्रिपल थायराइड केयर. पापा कह रहे मैंने ठंड लगती है, मुझे ठंडी लगती है. So I was telling him, Papa, start with triple thyroid care. नहीं मैंने thyroid होना है. Like then I had to send him to Sanjay, and Sanjay said कि आपको क्यों लेना है. So these doctors have been very kind to me. They love me a lot, and so I owe them a lot. And guys, अगर आपको next डॉक्टर संजय से किस टॉपिक के ऊपर dig deeper करना, he is a very spiritual person. That's why somehow we get well so good along. And you have to write me, and Dr. Sanjay Sachdeva, we will write his contact details in the description below. Then you can contact him. But guys, I'm telling you up front, functional medicine is not cheap, you know. अभी क्या है, लेट्स से आपका सर दर्द होता है, आप डॉक्टर के पास जाते हो, आपको एक मेडिसिन देते हैं, आपको एक पल के लिए आराम आ जाता है. कुछ सालों बाद वो उतना ही पैसा आपसे निकलवा लेते हैं बाय मल्टीपल थिंग्स, दैट साइड इफेक्ट्स ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर. नाउ फंक्शनल डॉक्टर्स, हाउ दे वर्क इज देयर इज गोना बी एन अपफ्रंट कॉस्ट, मे बी इन लैक्स, क्योंकि कुछ टेस्ट तो इन लोगों को बाहर भेजना पड़ता है, यू नो. सो दे गेट रेडी फॉर दिस. एंड अगर एक इंसान को ठीक होना है, उसको थायराइड है एग्जाम्पल, एंड उसका जो जर्नी है 6-7 महीने का, लगभग कितना खर्चा आ जाता है?
30-40-50 हज़ार रुपये अप्रॉक्सीमेटली. बट द क्वेश्चन इज दैट we did a survey on this on diabetes and thyroid. If you are having diabetes, then you will always get kidney disease, you will get heart disease, you will get obesity. Overall cost of all these three things and treating diabetes or having diabetes medicine for some years and then going on to insulin, which is a typical journey path. If a person lives with this disease for about 40 years, they'll spend 20.2 lakhs in that period of time, 20 to 25 lakhs average. हमने 20 लाख 20.2 lakhs का फिगर अराइव किया था by calculations of all the medicine costs, insulin costs, versus doing 50,000 rupees now and reversing it for life. And it's not just about money, it's about conditioning of your health. And one more comment about what you just mentioned about shifting to America. America is not the holy grail of health. You could be anywhere. So my going away message is, be like the lotus. You could be in India, you could be in Dubai, you could be in Germany, you could be anywhere, but be like the lotus. जो गंदे पानी में भी खूबसूरती देता है and spreads.
Wow, doctor, that's such a profound statement. Thank you so much, and I wish you a good sleep now once you go back. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.